How you doing? Jim here, Jim's Hot Rods and Beyond. I'm going to talk about this here custom-made sandblaster. My original sandblaster, right there, that little blue one over there that you see, is a 20-pound propane tank. I built that when I was 15 years old, and it's been running strong since. Now it's got to be 30, well, let's just say 30 years. Just recently, I had to replace my feed line. So it's very, very low maintenance. I have never replaced anything on that except that feed line for the sand. Everything else has been running great, and I still use that today. But the consumption on the sand was very, very small. So it's only 20 pounds, so I can get about 30 pounds of sand in there, plus or minus. So downtime is very, very long. And I'm like, I gotta make a bigger sandblaster. And for anybody out there that's ever bought one, they're thousands and thousands of dollars. If you go through Sandy Jet, which I actually own parts of one. This feed line, this Deadman is actually a real Sandy Jet. I ordered that from the company to build that project when I was, a teenager. It's, I didn't have the capabilities of making one. So since I do, I made a new one. And the last couple of months, I built this new custom-made sandblaster. I call it the Shogun, or the Master Blaster, as you see in the videos. So I'm going to give you a rundown in how I did that. This is the finished product. The reason why I did that is because of my body panels for the new 49 Ford truck and this GMC Handyvan. The doors and the fenders were absolutely enormous. So the downtime, I did one of the doors for this here van, and the downtime on the little guy was just like 8 hours. There was so much crap on these doors. I was getting fed up. Now that little sandblaster, I have sandblasted about 6 or 7 cars from the ground up, inside and out, start to finish, and it works great. Again, the downtime is pretty bad. I've replaced 3 motors on my air compressor because of it. You need to have a really big compressor, not an air tank, a compressor. My compressor runs 17.5 CFMs per hour. So that's a pretty big compressor. It's a twin cylinder, 2-stage. It's only a 60-gallon tank, so the consumption is very, very low on air. But consumption on sand, on the other hand, is high because the little guy, I'm pushing this sucker at 367 psi. I can burn right through sheet metal in a hurry. So very, very good quality. So the new one I built because of those big panels. And you see in the other videos. So this is the finished product. And let's take a look at it. Okay, what you're seeing is the front side of the Master Blaster. Totally finished. I got the tank that came off of a fork truck for free. Somebody dropped it off here. And I've had that for about 2 years, and I said I'm going to finally build it. So I paid $10 for these 12-inch race tires, the wheels down at the swap meet. I actually took home about 20 of these slicks for free. They were throwing them out at the track, so I took them all home. They hold air, and basically I had to make some special bearings because I didn't have an axle, so I made this custom-made axle out of an 1.5-inch tube. Made some special bearings on the lathe for that. So anyways, if you want to build one, this is what you need to do. Air comes in. You need a shutoff for your air line. Right out of the gate. It has to be before the regulator. And then after that, you want a water separator. Okay? So I use, basically it's 1/4 inch to 3/8. These ain't cheap. This little bastard was $12. This regulator and water separator was $54 at Home Depot. So you can imagine it's fairly costly, but where you get everything else for free, there you go. From there, you go into 1/2 inch black iron tube that I can weld. And then here's the thing. You need 2 shutoffs. It's actually called a metering valve. You need one for your air for the pressure of the sand. And then you also need a pressure relief valve or supply valve for your bypass line. The bypass line is for 100% pressure going through the tube of the main sand line. That is the key with these. Okay, when you build these, see on the old one has all of that. The only thing I don't have is I never put a water separator on this, and that is the downtime. This one, I had to get that, but this one still works good. But again, it's very, very small. But this sucker, I use this 99% of the time when I have a lot of small pieces. This one is for the big stuff. You need a lot of air for this son of a bitch. That holds over 150 pounds of sand. The Dead Man, I had made from scratch. Okay? Basically, it's 1.5 inch black iron, cap, drilled and chamfered with a hole. This is a real Sandy Jet carbide blasting tip. They're about $30 a piece. I bought a big box of them. Basically, I had a spring from an old clamp, 3/4 inch stock, and basically, you see that? It just absolutely works perfect. Threaded a reducer for 1.25 to 1.5 inch pipe, welded on some tabs, put a threaded 6-inch coupling in there, drilled some holes, put a 1-inch high pressure feed line for the sand through that. I had to heat this up to try to get this in there because that's how tight it is. So there you go. And the big nut is 1.25 inch fill, so I had to get a bigger funnel. And this is the new nut wrench. Basically, I just fabricated that. And there you go. Custom made. Welded on some things. Might as well paint it really nice. You know, it's a Shogun. Okay? There you go. So for anybody that wants to build one of these, real slow. Metering valve for the sand. High pressure line for the bypass pressure. Metering valve for that after the water separator. Metering valve for the sand or pressure pot regulator. Metering valve or air shutoff for your supply air. And that's it. And you drill some holes, weld all your black iron pipe to this. And this is high pressure. I pressurize that to 380 PSI. So I know it's banging. And I can blast through pretty much any sheet metal if I wanted to. It's so bad to wood and aluminum. I mean, that piece of wood, it'll burn right through that. That's how hard this is. So, there you go. Custom made tools. Get out there, build one. Okay? Take it easy.